Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my talk show, Let's Talk About with Richa. And today we have a beautiful guest, Kelly Kaschula, who is an amazing author of children's books. And welcome to our show, Kaschula. Oh,
Oh,
I should say Kelly.
no, Kaschula
I
is
love,
fine. Go for
love
it.
your surname. I love it. It's so beautiful. So welcome, Kelly, to us. And
Thank you. Thank
yeah.
you. It's actually a non-diploma. It's taken from my granddad's surname.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to honor him with the surname, and so I rolled with it.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love the way it rolls on. I just want to keep on saying it, Kashula. It's beautiful. So yes, welcome, and please tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay, sure. So I am a children's book author and illustrator. I also do the interior book design of my own books as well as other books. I've done journals, poetry books, health and wellness books. I'm very creative that way. And I also am the publishing director of Brave Kids Books, which is an imprint of Brave Healer Productions. And I work behind the scenes for Brave Healer Productions as well. So as you can see, I'm really knee deep into the book category of publishing, of writing it, illustrating, designing. I absolutely love it and I love story. So that's me in a tiny little nutshell.
Wow, that's so amazing. And that is an area I don't know anything about. So this is very exciting to be talking to you and getting to know a little bit of about the story behind the scenes in publishing. So, do you also publish like only physical books or is it ebooks on like Amazon? Because that is very trendy, right? People write an ebook and they want to sell it on Amazon and so on. Is it something like that, or is it like traditional old way publishing?
So the publishing category is always divided into three. It's the traditional publishing, those are the big houses. Then
Mhm.
you get, the self-publishing, which is our authors that are I'm going to do this myself and basically go on Amazon and publish. What we do is we are a hybrid publishing company. So we work with the authors and help them. So we help, get the book onto Amazon as well as Ingram Spark. And we help them promote it as well. Because
Wow.
the biggest thing with being a writer that almost gives you a shockwave is when you realize that in order for the book to be seen, you have to market it because nobody's going to buy a book if they
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 don't know
don't know
about. True. That's very true. It has to be visible.
exactly. And so, I mean, as you can see, my book's behind me. We publish in paperback, so
Mm.
it's nice books that you can hold and read. And they're also available as Kindle in the ebook, so you can travel with them, which is great because a lot of kids these days are very digital. So,
Mm.
they can read it on the screen in the car. Okay, great. Yeah, although they're on the screen, at least they're reading.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
That's true. That's true. And you have to meet the people, the users where they are, you know?
Exactly.
And
And I also wanted to add, we also do audiobooks. So once we've done the whole process, we also do audiobooks. So we think of mama bears and papa bears who are extremely busy at work, and the only time they get downtime is when they're washing the dishes, so they can listen to the stories while washing dishes.
true, I do that. I always listen to audiobooks. I love books. I've been reading since I was very, very young, but I don't have time anymore. I found myself not finding time to sit down and read a book, and then I would waste all of my nights because I just can't put the book away. And holding the book like this is what I love the most, having a cup of
Yes.
coffee and sitting, but I don't have that time. Even though my children are grown, I'm running three businesses. I don't have time to sit down and read a book. But I need my mind to be somewhere else sometimes and not at work all the time. So I need to kind of, log off work and just be and just kind of go into the book world again because I miss that. That is a part of me. So audiobooks has been my savior for the past 4 years. So I listen to the audiobooks when I'm walking, when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm making food, when I'm, cleaning the house or anything like that. As soon as I get chance, or doing my makeup, whatever I'm doing, I'm listening to a audiobook so that I can rest my mind from work. And
Yes.
so that's but my question is, do you only publish children's book, or because I have a lot of people in my audience and a lot of clients that are writing books and would be interested to know more about how can they publish their books. And but if it's not children books, could they still contact you about that?
Most definitely, because Brave Kids Books is an imprint of Brave Healer Productions, we publish both the adult and the kids book. So Brave Kids Books is focused on the kids books,
Hmm,
and then Brave Healer Productions are focused on basically health and wellness and business books. And they even have a
nice.
poetry section, yes, that they're busy with as well. In fact, there's a
Wow.
book coming out soon called 100 Poems and Possibilities for Healings Volume 2. So that will come out in January. So
Wow.
they so you really can contact me because I work in both sections, and I can direct you to the right lady to talk about publishing your adult version of your book.
Wow. Did you hear that, guys? If you have a book and you haven't published it yet, then you should contact Kelly for getting it published. So, this is amazing. You are hitting, you're adding so much value to the audience. But I want to know, how did you get into this? What was it that made you go into writing kids' books, and how did you, find that passion of yours?
You know, sometimes there is a spark inside of you, and sometimes people see it and sometimes people don't. For me, it kind of was awakened at age 9. We were tasked, yeah, we were tasked with writing our first ever story. And when I wrote it, it kind of was like a light bulb went on and flashed, and I knew I wanted to play with story. I love the process, the journey of actually writing so much. And so, you go from 9 into your teens, into your adulthood. And I was loved film and the stories I was showing on film. So I thought, well, I could go into the modern day storytelling, which was filmmaking. And so I started studying that. I loved that. I did. But the politics behind film is a complete different story.
Yeah.
And it's quite difficult. And so that is roundabout when the travel bug bit. And so I wanted to travel because I read somewhere that if you're traveling, you're basically enhancing the knowledge of your brain, of your experiences, and you'll write better stories. So I
Mm.
started to do that. And then I landed up as an au pair. And at that point, a couple of years in, I felt a great push in my soul. I was tired of writing, saying, I want to write books. I needed to have something concrete in my hand and say, I actually did this. And so I sat myself down. I wrote my first book that is published. I caught one of Santa's reindeer. And then through fate and destiny, and the universe coming together, realizing that I wanted to do this, they kind of introduced me to certain people who introduced me to other people who introduced me to Laura DeFranco, who is the CEO of Brave Healer Productions. And we just hit it off. And we started the imprint of Brave Kids Books, and that is how I got into publishing, and that's how I got into publishing kids books.
Wow. Wow, thank you for sharing that. I mean, I think that really demonstrate how if you meant to do something, the universe help you get through and make you find the right people, and then you are pushed into it. But you have to take the first step yourself. If you're meant to do something, you still have to be a part of it and want to do it, and remember to take actions. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
amazing.
exactly. These bright ideas that are floating in your head. Well, I always say they are not going to write themselves.
True. So true. Okay, so this is an amazing story, the story that you're sharing. But do you feel that, or let me rephrase this. How do you define success?
when I look at success now in my current life, I look at it as tiny little milestones
Mhm.
that build up, kind of like climbing the ladder step by step. At first, you don't really acknowledge to yourself, okay, I came this far. Okay, I came, then went to the next step. But now looking back at a couple of years that I've been doing this, I've realized, wow, okay, my confidence has increased. I've written, more than one book. Wow, when did that happen? Um, I'm comfortable in front of the screen and talking to people. My knowledge base has increased. My illustration skills has been increased purely because I am passionate about drawing and making sure the story is told through the pictures as well.
Mm.
So that is how I define success, is those tiny little milestones
Yeah. Yeah.
adding up.
It's amazing. That's amazing. And I think you're right that we sometimes forget to look behind us and see what we have already achieved and feel confident about it. Build that confidence and then the feeling that we are successful. And it doesn't come overnight. Very rarely it comes overnight. It takes many years to actually get there. So you do a lot of things, as I hear, and I want to know, how do you manage your time?
I manage my time through balancing my personal life,
Hmm.
my work life, and my writing life, all those different forms, as well as setting boundaries in. I found setting boundaries is very, very important. You need a cutoff time for your sanity. Um, Sometimes I would do my work and then I need to transition into doing the author work. And sometimes I can really go up to midnight.
Yeah.
And then you really have to be like, it's time now to go to sleep, because the healthy option is you need to sleep
Mm,
those hours so you can be refreshed in the morning.
mm,
No choice. And also a cutoff time for work. You do your work, then you have your relationships, your family bonds, because those are really important to maintain.
mm.
So that is how I do it. I use balance and I use boundaries, the two B's.
Yeah. Yeah, but what you're touching upon, that's what many people struggle with. They have so many ideas, and you kind of defined it. I like the way you defined it. It's your private life, your work life, and then your writing life. Writing things that you do, and that's the creative part that many people can dive so deep into, that you say, okay, now it's midnight, I have to go to bed. But I think a lot of people are finding it challenging to say, oh, it's past my bedtime, I have to go to bed. They just keep on going and going and going. So, do you have any tools, or how did you get to where you actually set boundaries towards yourself? The creative process, because I think a lot of people are afraid that if I get out of this creative process, would I get back into it again? I'm in the flow. What if the flow, stops?
Well, I think you need to really reflect on what you do and how you do it and why you do it.
Hmm.
Once you understand you as a person and how you work and how you function, then you understand how to get back into the rhythm.
Hmm.
Because what I find is all writers are completely different. It's kind of like a fingerprint. Every fingerprint is different. And so you can't tell one writer to do it this way when it doesn't work for them. And
Hmm.
so I think that is very important to figure out basically you, to
Hmm.
take some time and reflect, okay, this worked. I tried this. I'm going to stick with it.
Hmm.
This didn't work. Don't even go there. It's a waste of my time, my day. And so that is the key.
Mm, nice, nice. Thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. So, do you have any specific routines to take care of your health, and to stay in shape? I mean, not just the physical health, but stay in shape mentally and emotionally also. Do you have any routines or anything that you do?
Well, you see, my life is split into two. I have basically a life in South Africa and a life in France, and they are completely different. In South Africa, they really are. In South Africa, I tend to we wake up and I have coffee with my mother and sister and we chat and it's a good bonding moment. I can work before and then we chat and then I can carry on working. And in South Africa, the way the land is set out where we stay is I can go out in the sunshine and I can spend time with my doggos and play. And I alternate also between sitting and working and standing and working because that's very important. Because I
Mhm.
could, being the creative person I am, I can wake up at the crack of dawn and go to sleep at midnight and not move off the chair because I'm so invested, which is really, really not good for my back. So that is what I've done is I found the triggers, realizing, okay, you've been sitting way too long. It's time to stand up.
Mm.
In Paris, Paris is very fortunate. You don't really have a car. There's no need for it. And so I walk everywhere.
Mm.
Um, and I'm very thankful to my partner who basically, drags me out the house. Let's go have a walk. Which
Nice.
I'm very thankful for because I'll end up staying in the house. And then sometimes we take hikes. I love them, but sometimes that is where the boundaries come in because you think about, oh, there's deadlines. I can't spend a whole day hiking. I actually have to write this. It's due on this day. There's no
Mm.
time. And so that's where it comes in. So that's what I try to do for my health. I'm not the greatest expert. I'm creative. I will
You are
always
the
say,
expert in you, right? So you are the expert of you. But I think that's what you said earlier. You have to get to know yourself, what works for you, and if you know this is who I am, like I can wake up very early and start working. But it seems like you already cracked the code of knowing yourself and what works for you. So that's a good thing. And I think what you were saying that when you come to a deadline and say, hey, I should not go for the hiking. That's actually when you should actually go for the hiking, when you are stressed and there is a deadline and that's when you need it the most, but we don't prioritize that, I know. But, what kind of advice would you give to people who are maybe finish their book or sitting with an idea of a book, just starting out with their businesses or, just starting their journey, as an author or as a entrepreneur? Would you have any kind of advice for them?
oh, yes, just keep going. Just keep going. Build those milestones. And then every so often, look back, give yourself a pat on the back, and turn right around and keep on going. That
Wow.
is the best advice.
Yeah,
And those deadlines, they honestly, they help. They help keep you in check.
correct. Yeah, that's true. All the deadlines help you, you know, actually take action and move forward. Mm. So thank you, Kelly, so much for your time and your beautiful advice and this beautiful chat. And thank you for letting us getting to know you and the amazing things you do.
Thank you. It was lovely to chat with you. It was fun. It was like we were hanging out with coffee.
Yes. Yes, and this is so exciting because I know a lot of my audience would love to publish their books. So, you know what, people, get in touch with Kelly. I'm gonna share all her details, and you really should get a hold of her books. My children, unfortunately, are grown up, but it's always nice to pick up a book, a children's book also, and be transported into a fantasy world. So if you have the chance, pick up one of her books or contact her directly if you want to get published. So thank you, Kelly, for sharing this time with us.
You're most welcome. And thank you very much.
Okay, people, take care and be kind to yourself and to others. Until next time, bye.